All right, my friends, welcome. It's Ty Hicks, results coach and national influence and leadership trainer. I am so excited for today's video with you guys because I'm going to be sharing with you how to master public speaking. Now, I got to tell you, some people come up to me and they say, Ty, how do you, do what you do? You're speaking in front of crowds of hundreds or thousands of people. You do all your videos. How do you speak with such confidence and clarity? Well, first of all, I'm not always that confident and clear. As you've noticed, sometimes I'm a little messy, and that's okay. And part of the way in which we're going to master public speaking together is you've got to give yourself permission to be who you really are. You've got to be authentic first and foremost, because if you don't have rapport with your audience, if they don't think they're talking to a real human being, if they don't think they're listening to somebody who gets them, then you've lost everything. So part of the big lesson that I've learned with mastering public speaking is, first of all, to just not be so concerned with appearing to be so polished, but instead to be concerned with demonstrating yourself as somebody who's congruent and delivering a message with power. So we're going to talk about how you do exactly that. Now, to give you a little bit about my background in the area of public speaking, I actually could barely form a sentence, a couple of years ago. When I was in college, and I was organizing my first, college group. I was so excited. At my first meeting, I was almost throwing up because I was so nervous. And I was speaking to a group of only 6 people, but I had to give a presentation. And my knees were visibly shaking. How I didn't lurch all over the table, I still do not know, but I really felt like doing it the entire time. I was sweaty, my hands were clammy, no confidence whatsoever, stumbling over every single word. And it was a disaster, okay? But fast forward to today, now I'm doing keynote speeches and day-long trainings, across the country for people. I've had the privilege of speaking in front of crowds of thousands of individuals, doing live webinars and webcasts for audiences of similar sizes. So it's a really exciting blessing now to be able to speak to individuals. And I've learned a lot of lessons about how to become better at public speaking. So why should you be even watching this video? I mean, you might be watching this because you've got to public speak in your career or your volunteer activities or something like that. But even if you don't have a current experience in your life that demands your ability to be able to speak publicly, I highly recommend that you take it upon yourself to master this skill, because you are going to have to use this at some point in your life. And if you are not feeling comfortable walking in front of a crowd and speaking, you're going to be limited in terms of what you can actually do. And so there's so many unique venues where you can utilize this skill, and obviously becoming acquainted with how to speak publicly makes you that much more acquainted with how to speak privately. It's going to make you a more powerful communicator one-on-one with your clients, with people you work with in your business, your team, whomever, right? So this is a very important skill, and I don't want you to brush over how significant it could impact your life, because if you're not able to communicate with power your message that you believe in, you're going to be very limited in terms of your reach and who you're actually going to be able to get on your team to help advance your goals. All right, so let's dive in. The first thing I want you to do is take an inventory of where you stand right now, okay? Let's just get honest and clear on how effective do you think you are as a speaker, okay? Let's maybe put it on a 0 to 10 scale. 0 meaning you don't even think you could utter a single word in front of people without wetting yourself, okay? And a 10 being you feel comfortable walking in front of any group, any crowd with a topic and being able to speak and feeling completely fluid in being able to just go off the cuff and speak publicly. Where would you be on a 0 to 10 in that area, okay? So let's just get clear on that right now. And let's get clear on where you want to take that to, because you may not even necessarily need to take it to a level 10. But if we're going to make this a valuable exercise together, if we're going to actually improve this skill for you and not just talk about it, we've got to have you get clear on 2 things. Where are you at now, and where do you want to go? So what number are you at right now, and where do you want to go right now? Now, here's the next thing I want to ask you. What specific areas of your speech do you think need to be improved? Okay, so for example, is it your content that really needs to be improved? Do you not have much to say that you think is worth sharing? Is it the delivery? Do you think you've got plenty of great content, but the delivery is just not quite right? Do you think it is prose and voice? Do you think that you need to be more energetic and more fluid with how you use your gestures and use your voice to be able to communicate in a more fluid way. Okay, just kind of think really quickly about what you would want to improve about your communication style and jot those down really quick. Because again, if you have a dedicated outcome of how you want to improve, you're going to be that much more effective at actually manifesting that as I share with you the processes you're going to need to follow in order to improve the skill. Okay, another key concept I want to share with you here is that congruency is power. Not necessarily being completely polished, but being congruent is power. Now, what do I mean by congruency? What I mean here is that you've got to be able to own yourself, okay? And whatever specific personality it is that you have doesn't matter. I'm not here to make you communicate like me. Please don't, okay? I'm a different individual than you are. And your unique power source of what's going to enable you to connect with other people is different than what enables me to connect with other people. So I'm not trying to rid yourself of that. I don't want you to try to communicate like me or any other one particular individual. Here's what I want for you though. I want for you to be able to communicate congruently with your character. So what I mean is, if I were here talking about how important it is to master public speaking and how you need to master these skills and how it's really important to speak with enthusiasm and energy, you'd probably be going, what the hell, I don't want to listen to this guy anymore, right? Because there's no congruency with my message. My message is one thing that you need to speak with power, purpose, and clarity, yet how I'm delivering it is not congruent with that message. So what I'm saying to you is you need to develop the ability to head to toe have congruency in how you deliver your message. And understand that your word choice is only a small fraction of your ability to communicate. Your ability to get completely aligned from head to toe and be able to deliver your message powerfully in a way where you believe in it, that's where your real power source is going to be. That's what's going to wake people up. That's what's going to get people to lean in and listen to what you have to say. If they can tell that you don't even believe in the crap that you're trying to get them to believe in, then you're off to a completely non-starter. It's just not going to work for you. In order for you to build that basic rapport with them, you've got to be able to speak congruently. So why do I share this with you? I share this with you because, number one, I know many of you right now are watching this because you want to become better at selling or speaking about a product or an organization that you don't even necessarily believe in that fervently. And so my challenge to you is going to be either A, you need to find enough reasons that make you compelled to want to deliver the message you're charged with delivering, or two, you need to leave and you need to find a product or an organization that is worth evangelizing for. Something that you truly believe in, something that you're willing to go and speak to strangers about, something that you're willing to apply a little bit of healthy pressure on people to take advantage of and initiate themselves with, okay? You have to be sold before you sell anybody else. You cannot give somebody something that you do not already have. Passion and exhilaration, the least of which, okay? So you've got to, first of all, be standing behind a message that you believe in. And if you are not doing that, then you're going to be completely cutting yourself off at the knees of how you would actually be able to communicate most powerfully. If you find something you really believe in, if you find a product or a message or an organization or cause that you really believe in, that is so much more important than any of these other things I'm going to be able to share with you. Because if you've really got that, if you've really got an emotionally juiced sense of energy about delivering this message, you won't need to worry about other strategies because you will find a way to get the message through to your people. That's what's so important for you to understand. Okay? So congruency, that's what we're going for, congruency. All right, here we go. Here's our step-by-step process. Firstly, you need to clarify the idea that you want to communicate. Now, I don't know what your specific strategy is. For instance, when I do speeches, I very rarely use slides and bullet points and such. Instead, in my head, I've kind of charted out a couple key outcomes that I'm going for in the speech. Now, you may not be at that level yet, and that's fine. And you don't even necessarily have to make it a goal to go to that level if you choose to. I mean, you could use a note card if you like, that's totally fine. But here's what you've got to have. You've got to have clarity on the idea that you want to communicate, okay? Now, let me be piercingly clear about what I mean here. Let's say that you have to go and deliver a presentation to a potential client about your software system. Now, it may be tempting for you to think that you are charged with doing exactly that, delivering a presentation about your software system. But that is not necessarily the powerful idea that you need to communicate. The powerful idea that you need to communicate is how much better off their company is going to be with utilizing your software system, and why executing an agreement between companies for your software is going to be a slam dunk for them. That is a completely different outcome than going to present about your software, is it not? It's a completely different outcome that you're going for in the speech. And that's what's really important here, is you need to kind of get out of your own head and get inside of the head of your audience and think, what is the transformation that you've got to be able to create? What is the real light switch that you need to be able to flick on in their mind that has to happen through the medium of your speech? Because once you've designed that, once you've gotten clear on that, now you're going to approach the communication style in a completely different way. Okay? So get piercingly clear on the idea that you want to communicate. And by the way, as you've noticed in these video formats, I'm prompting you to take action as we go. So take pen and paper right now. Do not say you're going to do it later. Do it right now. And clarify the idea that you want to communicate. What is the outcome that you want to create? What's the transformation in your audience's mind that you need to create? Okay? So clarify that right now. All right, number 2. Now, if you've done number 1, it should lead you into number 2 pretty easily, but you've got to now get very clear on why it is so damn important for you to create that transformation. In other words, why are you so sold on your message that it's going to be a complete no-brainer to get other people sold on the message? What we're doing here is we're clarifying why you need to be emotionally juiced about delivering the message. We're literally generating and cultivating the emotional resource of bottled enthusiasm so that you're going to be able to go out and deliver your message as powerfully as possible. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to answer a couple key questions. So use your pen and paper, and if you need to pause me, you probably will. Go ahead and do that, but it's imperative that you answer this as fully as possible. Why is it an absolute must for your audience to get the transformation that you've just clearly identified? Why is it an absolute must for them to get that transformation? And you should not stop until you get at least 10 reasons. So get 10 reasons. Okay, pause me and do that now. Now the next question you need to answer is, what are all the good things that are going to happen as soon as they take action with the message that you're delivering? What are all the good things that are going to happen once that transformation occurs in the mind of your audience? And again, you should have at least 10 reasons here. Now the next one, and this is a very powerful one, do not skip over this. What are all the bad things that will happen if you fail to create the transformation in the mind of your audience? What are all the bad things that will happen, not just to you, but to them? What are going to be the consequences if they don't have that intrinsic transformation that you've got to create? What are going to be the consequences over the long haul? What are going to be the cumulative negative consequences? Get very keenly aware of that. And you need to get very present to what those consequences are. If you did not just pause and stop and take action and write and take a solid 5 or 6 minutes, you need to stop before you do anything else, because otherwise, I don't even know why I'm giving you advice if you're not going to use it. So take action with this. It's the only way it becomes valuable. But answer those questions in detail. The reason we're doing this is we're charting a path in your mind for why it's absolutely imperative for you to deliver the message to these individuals. You might be thinking to yourself right now, yeah, Ty, no, I know it's important, I got to do it. No, I don't give a shit. You need to do the exercise because it's going to get you to an emotional level of certainty in delivering your message that you've not even enjoyed before. You don't even know how powerful it can be. So take the time and do the exercise, please, for your own sake and for your client's sake. Okay, so by now, if you've answered those questions in detail, you should be emotionally charged. I mean, you should be on fire. You should be on the edge of your seat ready for this next strategy because you're so compelled that you've got to deliver this message. And again, if you're standing behind a message you don't believe in, time to find another one. All right, so next, anchor a resourceful emotional state. So now, if you've really done this, and by the way, this is why all these strategies build on each other, I want you to get very keenly attuned by looking at your list of the emotional state that it provides for you of how you've got to get these people to take action. In other words, I want you to get so emotionally associated with the feeling that it is a must for you to reach these people. And then what we're going to do is we're going to anchor that state, okay? Now, by the way, you might have tuned into this video thinking I was going to give you some dry bullet points about how to structure a speech, how to, phrase an opening line or whatever, and that's not the case, okay? If you want to become a masterful speaker, it means you've got to be able to walk into any room in front of any group and be able to deliver your message. And wouldn't that be a fantastic thing? What would that do for your life if you were able to do that? Would that not enable you to sit down with any potential client or customer and be able to talk with them with complete confidence and congruence? Would that improve your business? Would that improve your relationships? I think so, okay? So I'm walking you through the steps that are going to get you to that place. But if you're not taking action with them, I can't help you. So you've listed out all the reasons why why the transformation has to take place, all the good things that will happen once they do, all the bad things that would happen if you fail to make it happen. If you've really taken your time on that, you should be like emotionally on fire by that point. So I need you to get associated with that. So return to your list. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to build an anchor. So this is a neurological link that we're going to create between the emotional state and your physical body so that when it comes time for you to actually speak, you can reignite this feeling that you've got right now of complete exhilaration and confidence to deliver your message. So, for instance, what you need to do right now to anchor a resourceful state is you need to visualize yourself speaking to your audience. Visualize yourself just completely congruently delivering your message with power, and imagine yourself doing it masterfully. Imagine yourself completely associated to the value that's being provided to them, and get totally immersed and associated with that idea. Now, when you do this, okay, you need to close your eyes and do this. Do this right now. And now what I want you to do is I want you to, you need to create some movement that is unique, okay? So it could be, like a slap on the shoulder. It could be touching one of your fingers and squeezing on it in a particular way. It could be squeezing a fist. Okay, it could be something like that. But what you're going to do is you're going to get so associated with that emotion, and then you're going to create an anchor that's going to anchor that emotional state to that part of your body. And ideally what you want to do actually is add some vocal component to this as well. So you could say like, yes, okay? Or you could say like, hell yeah, or like whatever comes to mind for you. Whatever works, that's fine, but it's got to be something that emotionally juices you. That's the whole point here. Now, okay, you at this moment might be thinking, Ty, okay, look, you had me earlier, but now you lost me, okay? You're asking me to like visualize shit, and you're asking me to like touch myself. Like, what is happening? I'm telling you, this is neuroscience, okay? This is not hearsay. This is not positive thinking. This is you conditioning your nervous system so that you have emotional fitness heightened at a level so that you can perform more powerfully in the world. I'm showing you how to make that happen. Wouldn't you love, before you walk onto a stage, to be able to fire off an anchor and be able to immediately be back into that emotionally resourceful state? Because listen, you being able to communicate powerfully is not about building presentations. It's about you mastering getting yourself in a state of compelling energy to be able to communicate your message. If you are compelled to communicate your message powerfully, it doesn't matter. You don't even need a speech written out because you will find the words. That's what I need you to understand. This is not a lesson in how to structure speeches. It's a lesson in how to become a master communicator. And that's a fundamentally different skill set. So let's do this again. And you need to do this 5 times, at least 5 times. Visualize yourself delivering the message. Visualize yourself completely providing the value that you want to provide. The transformation is happening. Feel that emotion well up inside you, and then do your anchor. Do something unique and say something along with it. And rehearse that 5 times. Do not progress further in this video until you do this, my friend. I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. I don't care how silly this crap sounds. You need to do it. If you want to become a more effective communicator, this is how you do it. All right, so now you've got an anchor built. This means that you can reinforce this over time, and it's something that you can bring yourself back to when you need it. That's what's really powerful about that. So we already did step 4 combined with step 3, which is now we've associated resourcefulness to speaking. So you're literally visualizing yourself speaking, but you're bringing a resourceful emotion to it. So do you know the actor Lou Ferrigno? He used to be the Incredible Hulk on like the old television show. He's like a bodybuilder. Well, here's a fun story about Lou Ferrigno. He was terrified of public speaking because he has a speech impediment. And so even though he is like a huge bodybuilder, super strong, super confident guy, he was terrified of speaking because he had this speech impediment. Well, what he did to get over that fear of public speaking is he would visualize himself bodybuilding, and then he would visualize himself speaking. Visualize himself bodybuilding, being confident, then visualize himself speaking. And he created a new neural connection in his brain so that the next time he had to speak, he visualized himself bodybuilding, and he immediately was confident and excited, and he delivered his speeches perfectly. So that is the essence of what we're going for here. If you want to become a masterful communicator, you've got to link up the feeling of resourcefulness to public speaking. And that's what's going to make you able to be able to walk into any room and do this type of thing wherever you need to. So, we've already done that. All right, moving on. Now, we've conditioned it, and we've tested it, and we've strengthened it. So you need to do this on a regular basis. I recommend once a day, visualize yourself speaking, bring forward the emotionally resourceful emotion, and reinforce the anchor. The more you do this, the more powerful it will become, and the more automatic feeling excited about speaking will come to you. The more automatic feeling compelled to deliver your message is going to come to you. Test it and strengthen it over time. Now, what you need to do is right before you speak, get reassociated to that feeling. So fire off the anchor and walk on stage. Okay, get compelled. I always recommend you take a solid 1 minute or 2 minutes before you walk on stage or before you go into the room, whatever you need to do, get your head together, okay? And now when you get your head together, what I mean is don't visualize what could be going wrong, okay? Visualize yourself delivering the speech perfectly, just like Michael Phelps did before he would get into the pool in order to swim a perfect lap. Well, he would do constantly is he would visualize himself swimming the perfect lap over and over and over again throughout the day. In the same way, you need to chart a path in your brain for how you're going to show up magnificently so that when it comes time, your brain is going to pull that map forward and fire it off, and you're going to be able to execute at a much higher level. So I'm showing you how to wire your brain to get you to a level of high performance. It'll work, I promise you. So you get reassociated right before you start and fire off that anchor. Then you fire off the anchor and excel. Okay, that's it. That's the 7th step. You get up there and you deliver congruently. Now, are you going to do this perfectly the first time? No. Okay, you need to be comfortable with that. You also need to be comfortable being vulnerable in front of your audience. You need to be able to not take yourself so seriously. Take yourself sincerely, but not so seriously. Meaning, if you trip up, it's fine. Keep moving. You are going to be the biggest self-critic of yourself. You are going to notice things about what you're saying that you don't like that your audience is not even going to notice. Keep things moving on a fluid basis. Stay compelled. Get in a mindset of contributing to others. That's the real key here. If you get anxious, fearful, or stressed about public speaking, it's because you're focused on yourself. You're not focused on the value that you are there to deliver to other people. Because once you focus on that, all the fears disappear. Because you are there to serve a mission, and that is much greater than your own insecurities. So get excited, get compelled, go out there and deliver your message powerfully. Understand it's a work in progress. You're going to get better as you go. Congruency and delivering your message powerfully is what we're going for. If you enjoyed this video, please stay tuned. I've got one coming up that's very related, that's going to be on how to build rapport with anybody. How do you get anybody in the world to lean into what you have to say, to be interested in the message that you actually now are going to be delivering? I'm going to show you how you can develop rapport with anybody in a matter of seconds, and we're going to show you that on the next video. So I hope you found this valuable. I hope you're excited about your next public speaking endeavor. I hope you're ready to deliver your message powerfully. Go out there, honor your truth, deliver your message powerfully, and serve somebody. Go out there and contribute something with your message. So excited to talk to you again soon. Take care, my friend.